This is the weekly weather with Maxina and April, where no matter the forecast, it's always sunshine and snow.
Hello, my friend. But just in case you didn't know I was grateful.
I am really grateful.
I'm really grateful. I'm like embarrassingly, enthusiastically grateful for things. Y'all are, this is delicious. I might get my coffee. This is delicious. This looks great, you guys. They're like,
Okay, it's just coffee.
Have a good day.
That's
No, they're really happy usually to have somebody who's like, not like.
appreciates, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I feel like people go in there and go into places and like don't even give eye contact, the doctor syndrome thing too,
Right.
like you're here to serve me, So I try to be really attentive about giving eye contact because I don't want to give that impression at all. I like people and that they're working. I don't want everything turning into machines.
Yeah.
I don't want people turning into machines for that matter. All right. Shall we pray?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I warmed up my hands a little bit so I won't freeze you out. Oh. Father God, welcome to our space. Speak through us. Let us enjoy our time. Let us be wise and let us be silly. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, my friend.
It's so, the weather is cold outside. I mean, I should be excited because, hello snow, but
snow, right.
no.
You want the beauty, not the bite.
Exactly. I make the joke that the only snow I want to see is when I'm looking in the mirror. That's it. No, I don't like snow. It's too cold.
Have you ever lived in snow?
Oh, yes, which is why I hate it now. Because
You had to be like an adult in it.
Yeah.
You didn't get to just like play in it as a kid. And...
Oh, no, we grew up in it. We lived in it. We farmed in it. We slid in it, sled in it, built an igloo in it.
Wow.
But yeah, as I got older, my bones went, ugh. Yeah. It's cold. It makes my nose run. I don't like it. It is very pretty, though. And if I could enjoy it for literally one day, and then tomorrow be 74 degrees and a sunshine, that would be heaven for me.
I could see that. And that seems to be the consensus with people who come to Florida from the snow.
Just one day, man. Just one day. We don't need a month or 3.
Day after day after day after day.
I had a cousin who I want to say she ended up moving to Montana. She was from California, lived there like her whole life, and always complained because there's no seasons, right? And then her husband gets a job. They moved to Montana, and she's so excited because the weather is beautiful, and then the wind blows, and it's so beautiful. And then in October, the kids are bundled, and there was snow, and then it was a blizzard, and she was trapped in the house for months with her children, and she was like, "Get me out of here! I don't like it anymore."
Yeah.
And so her husband
is warm now.
Her husband gets transferred to Texas, and then that's when the floods happen.
Oh no.
And it was just like, and then and I said, "Girl, weather is weather. You gotta stop complaining about it because it's just
no
weather."
matter where you go, there's gonna be something going on. That's
how's the weather with you?
Well, I was about to say that's a real sisterhood through all seasons story right there. Oh my goodness. Well, my bones are hurting. I'm Florida grown, so this is not like when you talk about snow, I've never even seen snow. Yeah, I've never even, so when I talk to people about snow and I'm like, well, what's your impression? And what you said is usually like, that's 90% of the time when they say like, it's great for a day. And so my conclusion has been that like, if I ever do go see snow, I'll do a drive-by. I'll just flop out, do a snow angel, build a snowman, throw a few snowballs, attempt an igloo, and then put my happy butt right back in the car and drive back down to Florida where my palm trees and my sunshine are.
The problem with that theory is that in order to get a drive-by snow event,
I have to drive in the ice.
In that snow.
Yeah.
Just say, like, not everybody is made to drive in the snow.
I wonder if I could get an Uber just for a snow day. A snow day Uber.
My
Special.
My favorite friend.
A land cruise. I'm going to take a land cruise.
One of my favorite friends, Phoebe, up in Indiana, there was a team of people, the Jeep Club, and they had a huge snowstorm that just had everybody miserable. And the Jeep Club offered rides to people to get people to and from work because they had the tires that were they could drive the way that it needed to be driven because people couldn't drive. They were like, what do we do? And they couldn't get where they needed to go. And so they were like, listen, we'll get you to work.
Yeah.
And I was like, jeepers. They're not creepers.
They're not creepers. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was just like, okay, you've got resources.
Yeah.
Let's put them to good use and help people out. And that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, and I respect a good driver, or people who, truckers, driving through all of the random, crazy, hard things. And then, there were a few, deliveries that I've done in my lifetime that were like, oh, I have to park here and then wander through this shady neighborhood to get to the door that's here. It's like, so even delivery people who have to do that day in and day out, because oftentimes, I could choose. I was on a platform where I had the opportunity to be not taking that job,
Right.
And so I had taken, a couple of times it's like, oh, I didn't pay attention to where that one was situated and never taken that one again. That one's blacklisted. But yeah, no, or mountains. When we would go to vacation, Joey would always do the driving. He's the driver. He's a professional driver. So up and down those hills and you don't know what's coming next. And he's going so fast or I'm total emotional roller coaster because he's super confident, but boy, I am not.
That's
and people zip and zoom around there like it ain't nothing, but this one's going up this way and you don't know if it's curving next or what. It's I'm not going fast on that. What are you doing? You all are smoking out here.
So you're talking about mountains and delivery people. So working for a moving company. And there are some places that the big tractor trailers just can't go.
Yeah.
Nope, it's not going to happen. So they have to do what's called a shuttle. And once you get there is when you find out. Now, every now and then, the customer knows. They're like, nah, I've been there. I've seen the house I bought. There is no way you're getting your truck in there. And it's so wonderful when they do tell you because then you prepare. And I remember one of my first early on customers, and she was moving to California. And it was a weird place in California, and her house is on a mountain. And the only way to her house from the street is 120 feet up a steep staircase up the side of the mountain. Now, she knew that when she bought that house. But she did not mention that to the people selling her the move package or to the driver when he loaded it. And so here he is pulling up going, are you kidding? They had to hoof her. Oh. The sofa and the refrigerator were the nightmare because they just didn't fit.
Gosh.
It took 4 people to safely get it up. Everything else was okay, boxes. This is just ridiculous. Oh, it was such a high. It was so steep and it was so high and it was so many stairs. And I was like, why would you not tell somebody?
Right. Yeah. You need to order all of your things from IKEA and assemble them at the top of the mountain.
And how do
Can I order my refrigerator in pieces, please.
How do you
That'd
get
be
your
nice.
groceries? How do you just...
I couldn't.
At 12, I had the energy to walk that many stairs and not die.
Yeah.
At 22, I did not. Like, I can't, you're a grown woman. You have to go to work. What are you thinking? Are you a recluse and you're going to stay in your house and never leave?
That was my next question. You suppose she was
Are
just
things
like,
being delivered?
ain't nobody coming to bother me.
Are things being delivered by drone? Like, what?
Soon enough, girl. Soon enough.
It was insane. I was like, I felt so bad for that driver. I was like, I'm so sorry. I did not know. That's when I learned how to Google people's addresses.
Yeah.
I was like, no, noted. Yeah. I will Google the address now. I will know. Hey, that looks sketchy.
Yes.
You're going to want to be prepared, but
yes. I'm very thankful. I really enjoyed my, I didn't mind the little individual delivery work. I only ever picked up like super well-paying ones. But the gig that I have now is just, it's catering. Mm-hmm. So it's larger orders and it's almost always corporate. And so I don't have that anymore where I'm like stumbling on, this house or that house or figuring out what it is. Because some of the platforms have it where like you don't know your final destination until you hit accept. You kind of get, like the mileage, you get that information and like, the neighborhood or whatever, but like not an exact address. You have to like hit okay. And then, otherwise you have to look it up. Like I would have to like cross look it up on Google. So it was sort of a pain in the butt. And then when I got kicked off of that platform for my ticket, it was a hard time because one, I did enjoy the work and it was consistent money, and especially with the way that I played the app, but they were switching some of the policies around where I couldn't pick and choose my orders like that. Where I would have to pick up the stinky Pete's in order to get the good ones. And I'm not doing that. And so I didn't really know like what I was going to do whenever that like system dropped in my area. Because I would like follow the forums and keep up with what's going on in the different areas. I want to know what's happening in the market. I'm business minded. I want to know what the market's saying. What's going on? So, so I knew it was coming. I was expecting it. I was like bracing, for impact, and then the ticket came, and then it was like, I guess that decision made for me. Now I gotta figure something else out. But it is what it is. I had a really good year. I actually finished my, but some of my bookkeeping work. One of my goals in the new year is to be better about my bookkeeping because I'm kind of crappy at it. I don't do like the logging thing. I'm pretty good. I'm mostly good at keeping my business and personal transactions separate. Not always perfect, but I'm mostly good at it. But logging stuff, that's a nightmare. I have random boxes of receipts from 2019. I don't know where it is, but I would find it if they haven't got if an auditor came to me, they would hate me because I would be like, yeah, here's my planner book. And I have the last 7 years. You see all my little some of my little planners. Yeah. Here's my planner book. Have fun. Here's the receipts. Match them up. I'd be like, oh God. Penalties. Oh, I don't make enough for them to even care. Right? But this was my best year, and I was really happy. But things are changing. When you ask about what the weather is, oh my gosh. Okay, so today I received news. One, I've been anticipating. I know that one of my clients coming up soon is his schedule is going to be shifting around, and there's like life changes going on in his family situation where there's like he won't need me as often. Mm-hmm. And well, that's a pretty good chunk. That was a pretty good chunk of my income this year. And then I received news that my another gig, that's a regular gig, that was like $5,000 worth of my income, is they're switching like platforms, and I don't know if I can be onboarded onto the new platform and if I'm going to lose that gig.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay. So part of me is like, all right, spinning wheels and how do I do this? And, you know, I have multiple brands under my business and all of that. And, you know, how I'm going to roll out with this and that and that. And then, of course, I have the tour. But another thought of mine was maybe that timing isn't coincidental because, as you know, the book is supposed to be, you know, rolling out in some form in February. And I'm hoping to kick the tour off officially at the time. And that, if I don't have those extra clients, then I have more time to dedicate to the writing and the marketing and the things for the writing and the tour and the things. So I have this, you know, this thought in my mind. It's like, well, I don't have enough faith in the tour. I'm not having enough faith in the tour and all the things, you know, the Lord has put before me. And after, you know, before this even coming to this point, you know, because I know that he's had a hand in it. So I want to have faith in that too. But, I mean, it's a chunk. It's a chunk of change.
So you said but. You said but.
But it's a chunk of change. It's a lot. It's a lot that I feel like I'm asking God to compensate for a lot. That's what I feel like it is.
Someone once told me that but is an eraser word. And so if you say a bunch of nice things and then you go but, you've just erased all of that. And now you're saying what you really mean. So, I challenge you on that.
Okay.
What's I challenge you on that.
Okay.
Okay. Especially in that particular context.
Oh, okay. So, what if
God had his hand in it, but
yeah.
Well, but he doesn't love you. But he doesn't love you enough to keep doing it.
What if it goes? I'm really afraid that that the changes in my income won't be well compensated for in the things that I'm planning. But I'm trying to have faith. I want to have better faith in God, and you know what I mean? Like, what is it like? Switch around the positive and the negative. Like, put the negative first and then the positive. Right? It's like, okay, I'm afraid, but God is better and He's bigger, and that's what I'm going to put my focus in.
Yeah, do it afraid.
Do it afraid. Yeah.
Because fear is a liar.
Yeah.
That's a great song, by the way. Yeah. Fear is a liar. Yeah. It really is.
So if you're going to use but, then use the negative first.
There you go.
And then the positive.
There you go.
Okay.
I'll buy that for $1.
All right.
I owe you $1.
My wallet's always open, baby.
Dude, but seriously. Yeah, faith. It's the stamina behind it. So I've heard it said that it's not, everybody has their measure and it's the same measure and it's the mustard seed. It's super little. It's little. Mm-hmm. It's not big. It's little. And it's the duration. So Peter says, Lord, if that's really you out there on the water, ask me to come and I will walk to you. Like, I will walk on the water. And he's like, bet, come on. And he hopped right out there and was walking on the water. But he didn't allow his faith to continue. It didn't get smaller. It didn't diminish. It didn't get big and then get small. It just, he let things get in his way.
Yeah.
So he didn't have the stamina for his faith. He didn't, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. So you've got the faith. And you know who your source and supply is.
It's got me this far.
Sometimes there's some adventures. I said something very wise to a friend this week. She was having a little lamenting, like all these horrible things are happening and why are they happening to me? And I said, why are you asking that? She's like, well, it feels like God's mad at me. Like, this is happening, and I'm being persecuted here and persecuted there. And I went, are you better than Jesus? Oh, heavens, no. And I went, okay, because he was persecuted. People were mad at him and mean to him and said horrible things. And then he was killed.
Yeah.
Like,
Matthew 5, blessed are you when people say all sorts of false accusations against you and slander against you, for they did it to your Father in heaven before you.
So when all of the stuff is happening, you don't ask, why is it happening to me? You say, Lord, what should I be learning?
Yeah.
And find the lesson.
Yeah.
The sooner you find the lesson, the sooner it's over.
Yeah.
You get right through it and on to the next thing. And then you're like, oh, thank you. All right.
Yeah.
I learned that lesson. Thank you very much. Okay.
Right.
Moving on. Because if you refuse to learn the lesson, it's like if you've got a textbook. If you can't pass the quiz at the end of the thing, you have to read it again.
Yes. Yeah.
Take the test again. You still can't pass. You got to read it again.
Yeah.
And you're stuck in that chapter until you can go. So what's the lesson?
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention. Could you repeat the question, please?
I need that.
What was the question again? I will pay attention this time. I got it. Let's go ahead. One more time. I got this. And then I'm getting out of here and getting to the next chapter. Because he doesn't want to punish us. I
Right. Well,
firmly believe he doesn't want to punish us.
and what occurs to me, and this came up in Tuesday's Bible study, about the why me, like that, putting that yourself in that position of why me, and my thought always goes to Job. I mean, if there was a why me guy, like, right, that's the why me guy, and it was funny because Wednesday night I found out that I guess the ladies group are actually reading Job, and that's been a long time favorite book of mine. And I was like, wait, what chapter are y'all in? Because it was a friend of mine. She was just like, I'm having a hard time. This is not my favorite. And I was like, oh, it's hilarious to me. It's a great, well, because we as readers, with the nature of hindsight and having the conversation and having presented to us, we have this third-party perspective that all these men are, so you kind of get, like, there's almost this, like, comical, as a reader, thousands of years later, we're like, we know what's going on, y'all are wrong, and so, but, and then Job's like, no, I'm telling you, I haven't done anything, but what I asked her was, I was like, wait till you get to, like, the later chapters where the conversation between God and Job happen. Because that's sort of that, like, question of, like, what gives, and I told Sarah, I was like, what, I said, basically, God's like, who is you? Like, that's basically his response.
Not you.
Right, yeah, that's exactly right. I was like, he's like, did you put the foundations of the world in place? Did you put the shine and the stars? Did you put the heavens?
If you ask my daddy, I did.
Right, yeah. Like, you're the one who beams light from your, mouth or whatever. But yeah, so this is God, and he's, like, asking Job, like, have you done all of these things?
Right.
And... obviously not. You know what I mean? It's like, what answer does Job have to that? Yeah. And then basically, God never tells him. God never says, well, what actually happened is, he doesn't answer to Job. He doesn't give him an answer. He doesn't tell him, oh, I did this so that way you would learn X, Y, Z, or I did that. It was just, I am who I am, and this is what happened. And so therefore it is what it is. But he still glorified Job because Job kept his faith and didn't dishonor God in his speech with his comrades.
Right.
And so it's like, I think part of my why me moments, and I've had a lot of them.
Never.
And then I'm into somebody, that's typically where my mind ends up going, is this conversation between God and Job, and God being like, what do you want? You want a carefree, scot-free life? You're not going to get anything out of that. You say you want to be strong in your faith, and you say you want, to have patience, and you say you want to make a difference in the life of your friends and family, and you say you want to be a light in the world, and hey, guess what? That takes a lot of hard work, and hey, guess what? You're going to go through some hard things, and hey, guess what? You can't react like a little child. You have to react like an adult who's been on adult milk and food for a long time. That's the answer. It doesn't matter what I did or what I'm doing or why I'm doing it. You are so supposed to sit here and do what you're supposed to do, and that's that. Be obedient, trust, and obey. That was supposed to be my mantra for this year.
I think you just preached it, girl.
Get it out. Yeah. I have a lot of why me moments. He's told me he's. I've wrestled with God on that one a lot. I am a wrestler. I am a wrestler with the Lord, and that was one of the things in Bible study we've talked about, the donkey, the donkey's spirit. And there's a little bit of that theme in my upcoming book. And one of my beta readers kind of like didn't get it. They were like, I don't get this reference, because it's like a whole chapter, and part of me is like, oh no, do I need to examine this or, a little bit deeper? But then the other part of me is like, no, this is what it is. This is the expression.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah. So I figured the ones who get it, they'll get it.
Those who have ears to hear will hear.
Yeah.
That's just... Well, the Bible. When you're a brand new Christian, you're just starting to read, it means one thing to you as you read the stories. It's a very surface level. It is what it says. Yeah. Then as you grow and you mature a little bit, you read it again and you see the same verses and you're like, oh, I see a little deeper into that. Mm-hmm. Then you grow and you mature and then you read again and you're like, whoa, I see something a little deeper. Where's your maturity? What path have you walked? Mm-hmm. So not everybody's going to, and that's the same with anything. Everybody's going to read it differently, comprehend it differently, and it will resonate with some and not resonate with others. Mm-hmm. And then there will be another one that they'll be like, oh, that one spoke to me. I didn't understand any of this over here, but this spoke to me. And that's what it's part of the art.
Yeah, you're right. You are right. That was, I think, one of the things that's been more and more evident when I've had a set of work that was edited by one person, and then I presented it to the other person with the other person's edits on it. And so I ended up getting comments from person 2 about person 1's edits and comments. And so that was sort of an interesting perspective sometimes, because it was like, oftentimes it's like, I totally disagree. I think XYZ, or I totally get it. I don't know why they don't. It was like, so it was nice to have that, like, it seems like it would be, it makes it more interesting to me, I think, too, to pursue feedback from readers who might come to me and say, oh, I've read your work. Oh, tell me what you thought. What did you get? What didn't you get? I want to know, because I like a conversation.
What?
Yeah.
You like a conversation?
Yeah.
Do tell.
It's this new thing I'm on. I don't know. I just started it. I just woke up one day and just started talking, I guess.
Like, I started talking and I never shut it up.
Never shut up. Well, and it's so funny because I named my business Jabbermax before I branded myself as a writer. I didn't know I was a writer when I started Jabbermax. I had the spiral notebook. I had the doodles. I had the whole brand looks exactly how I have not changed the look of my brand at all. The flower has been the flower from the day one. And then it was like, and then I sort of like more and more adopted the spirit of growth and learning. And that was really what the paper and the flower, were about. But and then later when I realized I was a writer, and I don't know why I didn't know that already, because I was a writer in high school and I always loved to write. I just didn't think I could be a professional writer.
Right.
I just told myself I couldn't be. Stupid. So
somebody's voice was in your head. Something and you was were in there.
Yeah, it wasn't a good one. So, so when I made that switch and I finally made the jump and I put writer on there and I held that card up, I was like, you did it again, God. You did all this. You did all this. And I knew it. I mean, I entered into the business on a prayer. In fact, my understanding of everything after I presented everything to God was, okay, the business is going to teach me the things for the thing that is what in my head is like ministry. And I always thought it was going to be a ministry. But it was more like I was learning how to be ministry, like how to act ministry.
Yes.
Through that process. And I mean, whether or not my businesses or whatever carried this or that message or whatever, because it's me who's presenting it. It's me who's holding the values, and it's me who's being the light on the hill through providing whatever service I provide.
Right.
You know, delivery isn't inherently a Christian service, but I am a servant in what I do. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's it. Writing isn't necessarily a Christian service, but it informs my Christianity, my faith informs every single thing that I do. And so I struggled with it for years with my business, because I was like, God, why isn't this a Christian business? Why isn't it time? Why can I do this yet? Like, I was like, you know, like wanting it. And I just more and more, I was like, it just didn't feel like it was ever going to be. And maybe it might not ever be, but I realize what it is now, and what, you know, where my ministry really truly lies in the relationships that I'm carrying out in it. So it was like just constant answered prayer after answer. When you talk about that faith of a mustard seed, that came up in Tuesday night Bible study too, because I was like, you know what that is? I said that's eventually your faith is based on evidence. You know, first of all, if you read scripture and realize, you know, creation, sin, prophecy, and redemption, you know, the entire thing in and of itself is a package of evidence, right? The fact that when I say the resurrection, I'm talking the redemption of the resurrection, the historical fact, the undeniable historical fact of Jesus' death and resurrection. That all of those are evidences. And say you don't accept that, and you say, God, I want to believe, you know, these fairy tales is what a lot of non-believers say, and because I want whatever you have to offer. All right, that's a mustard seed. So then you plant that, and he's going to water that, and it's going to grow, and there's going to be this thing that happens, and you're like, well, that's no way that was a coincidence. And then this other thing happened. Oh, that's no way that's a coincidence. You know, the more you lean into prayer, that's the mustard. Every prayer is a mustard seed. And he's like, all right, I'll water that. All right. Okay, all right. That's what you want to come to me on? That's what I'll do. So then you have evidence in this little space in your life. You're like, oh, okay, something's out there. This is evidence. You know, that these are things that are out of my control. I didn't create. This was miraculous, right? Over and over. It's like, no. There's something going on, you know. So that mustard seed, eventually, you have this big, huge tree, and you can't say, oh, I don't see my faith. Where's my faith? It's like, you have this tree, you have this mountain of evidence in front of you. And that, I think, is like one of the most beautiful illustrations of faith about the mustard seed. It's like, all right, I planted that, and now I have a tree.
Yeah, I love that. So you were saying how you thought your business was going to be a ministry business, or it was going to be ministry, and then it wasn't folding out that way, and you were like confused. And that reminds me of when Carl and I were first married. We just knew, we heard from the Lord. We just knew it, and we were going to minister to couples. Arrogant. We were newlyweds. Are you kidding me? We're 23 and 25. No, 22 and 25, and we're gonna.
We're so in love.
We're gonna minister to couples,
Yes.
And yet that never happened in the church the way we assumed that it was going to be. But then we look back on our life and we're like, oh my God, we ministered to couples all the time. We had couples living in our house at different stages of their life. Like, yeah, our life was a ministry.
Yes, ma'am.
And here we are 30 years later. So, and it's just funny though, how you hear something and you picture it one way, and sometimes you get so stuck trying to make it fit this picture that you've created that you don't hear and you don't see the picture that is really there until later. And then you look back and you go, how did I miss that?
Right, yeah.
It was so evident.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, God. Yes, you did it again once again. Yeah.
I know you're dancing. I love that. Well, and I'd say that's still, in as much as I've seen you and Carl interact, not just interact, that y'all are truly partners in everything that you do. Y'all are showing up at Bible study together. Y'all are, obviously making decisions about housing couples together. Y'all are running a business together. He, supports you in your things. You're supporting him. Everything that I've seen between you, like that's absolutely, ministry by example, if you will, or, ministry by shining the light that's within. It's, and not that everything's perfect, you know.
Right.
But
no, we have our moments. We have them. I swear we do.
Yeah.
But they don't last as long as they used to, and you learn real quick how to. That's not even worth the energy of being mad about. But yeah, it's we were gonna be ministers to married couples. Yes. And for whatever reason, that was in a church, Tuesday night meetings or whatever, and it was like, yeah, nobody's giving you that. You're 22 and 25. You're not getting that. They're not doing that. Yeah. They love you, but they don't. Yeah. They're like, you've been married for 3 months. What do you think you know? What do you think you know?
And you're like, all they ever do is have old people teaching marriage classes. You know what they need? Like, they're not doing it right. I got an idea.
Well, and it really wasn't an us idea. Like,
yeah.
It
was like y'all were called. Felt called.
Knew,
like this was a thing.
We knew
right.
we heard it.
Yes.
But we pictured it in that box,
yeah.
and that was just funny. And I feel like God was just sitting up there laughing. It's like, y'all are cute.
It's like, yeah, nice try.
Just wait till it happens, yes. And then you're gonna be like, that was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and that is such a beautiful, because you were drawing from, the business, and what it reminds me of is the book specifically, because when I sat down at the same time that I wrote the goal, like, one day I'd like to have a business, and one day I'd like to write a book. It was in the same, like, session, prayer,
mm-hmm.
day or whatever season. And so as I was doing business, everything that I learned business-wise is, branding and marketing and, and technical stuff, I would pile it into this book. And my friend, I scrapped 3 different books. Okay? I have scrapped 3 different books in 9 years that were like, this is the book. I have to write this book, And because I'm like, there's a book with it. There's a book somewhere. And they were all awful, and I was like, I don't even want to do this crap, It's like, and I really love strategy in business. Like, I like what I'm doing. I like helping businesses through this, but I was like, I wouldn't want to sit down and do this. So I don't know. I was just like so frustrated with it, and I finally just like stopped. I was like, I don't know. That'll come or go. And I had, versions over the years of a poetry book. But I didn't think of that being
right.
the book, it was just like, I want to put my poetry out there. And then it was like, when I got fired, kicked off the platform, and I lost my job, and I had to come up with other, means of whatever, I back down with, pen and paper and prayer, and all right, Lord, what's going on, And so I sort of was like, it was my 7th year, actually. It was like it was a forced Sabbath, my friend. I have a whole like 12-page journal entry about it. It was a forced Sabbath. The Lord was like, all right, you've been practicing Sabbath. Psh, no work. Psh, your client's gone. Psh. It was like all the same year I lost like one of my major. It was like the same thing. And that's why I see this coming up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's happening again. My gut's dropping, But again, I have this whole other thing. And so, but during that season was like when I sat down and I really started noodling out this book. Like, what is this book? It was like, because a book, it exists in its final form already, it seems. Like, it has like, you have to discover it as much as you write it. And so I was in this process of, discovering it. And so it's gone through like 3 or 4 different titles, and then finally when I landed on it, it was like, pieces clicking into place. People I needed. Accountability buddy. For years I was like, wow, maybe there's a podcast attached to this. And then, like, when you were like, oh, I was like, yeah, I got podcast equipment. I got some things. I know a little bit, And, of course, strategy-wise, the things I've been talking, like, this isn't stuff that I just know along. This is stuff I've been learning for a decade.
Right.
And the Lord's like, hey, remember that thing that you thought that you weren't going to need because you gave up on that? Here. And it's nothing like I thought it was going to be.
Nothing
I was going to write a business book. No. Here you go. This is something totally different. And it's, like, kind of bizarre. It feels weird. And I'm still like, poetry? God? Really? What? Poetry? That's really where you're calling me?
That is so funny that you don't see that. Like, what?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, I'm going, I can't even imagine you thinking that you were supposed to write a business book.
I know, right?
Like, because that's not you.
I see it now.
Poetry? That's
the one.
That's so funny, though. We never see ourselves the way everybody else sees us, though.
Well, in my head, I'm like, how is poetry going to help people? You know what I mean? I'm like, how does that really, how does it help anybody? But you've read the book.
Yes.
And so, obviously, you have some...
How did the Book of Psalms help anybody?
I'm not David, but yes.
But
he's
it's
the
same.
best writer. I love David's writing, though.
But it's the same.
You're right.
It's heartfelt. Most of it, if not all of it, is in some way to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of us just get to be present for it. Like,
yes.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wake up! Quit doubting.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, no. Yeah. The right people are going to find it. The right people are going to read it. And the right people are going to love it.
I hope so. Because it's supposed to exist not for myself.
Right.
So thank you for that encouragement, my friend.
You're very welcome. And I'm thinking next week you will have your book back in your hands with my little notes on it.
Oh, thank you.
They were just little notes, little.
I'll take it.
Very little, because absolutely, I think there might have been one thing that I was like, is that a typo, or am I just not getting some kind of an illustration?
Yeah. No, you got a version with lots of typos, and some illustrations are lacking. It's not an entire book just yet, so you'll still be surprised if you end up picking it up at the end.
Right. And so then I gave my 2 cents on what I felt that needed, but no. The poetry itself is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's good.
I'm glad to hear that. That warms me. So thank you.
You are very welcome.
And one of my intentions for, your input is review. Mm-hmm. When the time comes and I'm putting the book out there, I want people who've already read it to put their genuine, review out there. So, be ready for that ask. Okay. I'm like, hey, what do you think about the book, April?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, I got you.
Thank you. I have, one of my reviews or whatever, I have a blurb. So one of my I have a professor friend who, put, really great notes on his book. And so I sort of drew from that, and put it on there, and I showed him, I was like, what do you think? And he was like, yeah, I'll say that. Yeah. He's like, that's right. I did say that, because it was it was a partial of part of what he had said to me verbally and what he had written. And so it was I feel like that explains what I want the reader to experience or to know ahead of time before they ever open the book. So it's coming together in its various little pieces. I do feel really behind, but I was looking at the, that 90-day faith and focus. I don't know if I told you about that. Mm-hmm. So I was looking at that, and at the beginning of it, it was quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3. I was putting where I was going to be, or, month 1, month 2, month 3. And so I went back on that list, and I was checking off some things, my friend. And there was one thing specifically with the book that I was like, all right, that I'm obviously behind on. But everything else, I'm all right. So
Nice.
keep praying for me. Keep
Yes.
praying for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you and Carrie have been making some progress on some background things on Weekly Weather. Tell me about that.
Oh, nothing at all. First episode is down, and it's. I liked it. I was excited. It was nice and short.
I liked it.
I liked it. Got an intro, and so that was cute, and then we're gonna have mugs. I'm excited about that. But now I just got to get the next couple of them because we got to get it up. By the time these people see this and hear this, they're gonna be like, "What are they talking about?" Because everything will already be there. But right now, as of today, it still doesn't exist for the world. So it's really hard to do the job that pays the bills while you do the thing that you really want to do without losing all the sleep in the world.
Yes, man. Self-employed and the dreamers, they are the hardest working business owners. They're the hardest working, and they do not get paid.
Nope.
We do not get paid for the hours that are not billable. No. Unless, of course, you have, passive income, which, we're talking about, those different things. But, different streams of, there's like seven different streams of income. Mm-hmm. And I'm sort of in this space, with the products where you can move out of like where your stream of income is productivity based.
Right.
In other words, I have to be clocked in to get money versus like a product sales. I don't have to be present in order for those to be processed. And so those two different types of streams of income allows you then to open up that space of like, okay, now I can work because now I'm not working for free. There's something over here generating an income. And then, of course, there's dividends and, the other tiers of income and streams of income. But working on one at a time. So,
right?
No, I
exactly.
Get it.
Exactly. So, and it's
you.
just like, kind of stuck at the moment, but I'm looking forward to knocking through that wall and getting them up. And I know that I had let somebody listen to the first episode as all right, I need your feedback, and I think we found our target audience, and she loved it, and so yay.
We have a fan.
And so it's like, okay, now we gotta just get it out. Just gotta do it.
Yes.
Nike said it best. Just do it.
Just do it. Yep.
Just do it.
And to be fair, you are really. I mean, and I sort of entered into this, I think, with the expectation that it would be exactly like this. Like we're gonna be episode 8 or 9 by the time they start rolling out. Really,
right.
And but that's good then, because then we can consistently, you consistently put things out, and then be able to go back and look and like, okay, what's the new one? So, do you? By the time you get done editing all of those, you will have developed the muscle in such a way that you go back to the studio. You'll have whatever day you put aside, and then we'll have them out every single week.
Oh yeah.
And so you'll having episode after episode to edit all at once. Like it's going to be like going to the gym for a month, like,
right.
Oh, I got muscle memory. I know what to do now. Like you're going to be.
Well, it was funny is I thought that I had the first episode done, and then I was like, save and upload, and then I was like, play it. Where'd the audio go? What? And it's time to go to bed.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what I just did, but I'm going to bed. And then the next day I sat down, and in 5 minutes, boop, 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 boop. Yep, there it is. And it was fine. And I went, I did the exact same thing I did. What did I do different? I don't know. I was tired.
And I was about to say you had slower brain cells. That's all. That was it.
But it was so funny because I was so mad. I was like, because I did it. And then it was like, play.
Like,
why is there nothing? I don't understand. I said, never mind. I didn't do it.
Bless your heart.
So that's
You're an
been
angel,
fun.
angel.
But it's been fun, and we're gonna have mugs, and they'll be here maybe next week, and then I think that's it. That's all that's new and interesting for the moment.
All
I think.
right. Well, Carrie was doing something.
Oh,
with
she's all in the
writing some things.
Yeah, she's doing some stuff in the background. Well, she was flying, and she was like, I can dedicate some time while I'm in flight, because now she's back and she's got to work and go to school.
Yeah.
But yeah, she dedicated some time while she was on the flight, and so we've got info that we can just snag and put when we're ready to build the website, and so yeah, we got some things happening.
They show little things.
We're watering the seeds.
I was about to say, we're watering some seeds along here.
Seeds.
I was so excited about her enthusiasm for the and just meeting her in person too. Like that was such a treat. And all your babies are beautiful. And she was just like on board, with the thing, because the mugs, for instance, like I can do that. All right, thanks. And she was like, well, I wasn't sure. I was like, girl. I said, I had said something to your mom about you being our merch girl, but I didn't know how much you wanted to be, like, involved. And she was like, oh, totally. I was like, okay.
And I have to be careful of how much I
put on others.
I say in front of her, because she is just like her mama, and she'll be like, okay, I'll do it, until she's burnt out and she can't do anything for anybody. But yeah, she's very much just like me.
A whole family of creatives, like running off with all of their ideas. It must be such a fun
I
thing
don't know.
to be a
Some
part of.
days it's not as fun as you'd like. Because you look around and you go, well, we started a bunch of things, but did we finish any of them?
Yeah. My dad had a shirt that said "King of Unfinished Projects." It was just like a bunch of tools laying around. My mom got it for him.
I love that.
Passive aggressive affection always wins, I guess.
Right. Oh, that's too much. But yeah, no. And today we went to the local chamber meet and greet thing that they were doing, and met the most interesting young man. We're gonna call him Bob.
Bob. Okay,
Bob.
Tell me about that.
Because we're not gonna say what his real name is, but his name is Bob. Young man, and he's there. It is cold outside. Everybody's got jackets. We're trying to get up in front of the heater, and he's standing there with short sleeves, but holding a jacket. And we're like, "Sir, why aren't you wearing your jacket?" And he was like, "I don't know." And he was mumbling some stuff, muscle mass, whatever. And we're making jokes about he's got the right to bear arms because he's bearing his arms. Ha ha. Turns out he was in the Navy, and was medically discharged. Okay. So, again, we're at a business thing, right? So it was like, oh, and what is your name? And what do you do? And he says he's in finances, and he works for this company, da. And we're like, oh, awesome. We're Carl and April with Microgreens Market. Oh, microgreens, what's that? Da. And then he says, are you hiring? Because I don't have a job. And, because we're like, come down and see us on Saturday and get somebody. He's like, oh, I'm broke. I don't have a job. Well, that escalated quickly because 35 seconds ago, you were in finance.
Right, yeah.
With this company. Wait, what? We're confused. But okay. And then he was like, yeah, all I've got's my car and the AC. And we're like, did he just tell us he's living in his car? Okay, we're very confused now. And I think it's time for us to go.
We are leaving. He must be a new agent. So he said he was in finance, and so my instinct is he's probably job. Right. So if he's just now if he doesn't have a book of business, then you don't get any money. If you're in finance and he didn't
say he was broke. He said he didn't have a job.
Yeah.
But who are you here with? I'm in finances. I'm with this company, but I don't have a job. Wait.
Yeah.
What?
Probably because he sells financial products, but does not have a book of business. So you get no commission when you don't have a book of business. And so he's self-employed. And he doesn't get paid unless he sells. Just like we don't get paid unless we sell.
Okay, maybe.
You know what I mean? Like being
It
self-employed.
was weird though.
The
way he said it was just very weird.
Yeah.
Carl and I were laughing on our way to the vehicle. We were like, man, that escalated quickly.
It's
he
like
lost
me
his
saying,
job and his house in like less than 35 seconds.
It's like me saying, I work for Mary Kay. I'm a consultant for, Mary Kay. I was at one point in time or whatever.
Me too.
But
I sucked at it.
I wasn't great at it. It was for
Do
me.
you know why? Because I wanted to
it.
give it away.
Well, for me, that too. But to me, the model of like, just ask all your friends, which, I mean, I get it. We're females and everybody, likes to wear makeup. But not everybody has a disposable income.
Right.
Not everybody wants to smell like Mary Kay when it's sort of makes you think of your mother or your grandma. You know what I mean? It's like, once you start to really segment out your market, the sales tactic doesn't really work. Plus, of course, the MLM recruitment factor, But I wanted to learn, like, sales. I wanted to learn presentation. I wanted to be I didn't understand what it was to run a book of business or have a book of business and what that looked like. And they had, like, forms. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It was like, kind of like a turnkey operation for somebody who wanted to be a consultant or a salesperson. It's like dry. I don't even remember what I was saying.
The Mary Kay and the book of business.
Yeah, book of business.
So
it would be like me saying I'm a Mary Kay consultant, and but I don't have a job, and I'm broke because I haven't sold any products. Or I just spent $2,300
to get all the makeup.
In the pack. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I do and what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm trying to pursue, but I don't have a book of business, and therefore I'm not getting a commission or anything. That's my instinct. I don't know anything about Fab. But...
and then he was like, are you hiring? And we're like, no, it's a small startup. So no. But it was just weird. It was weird. But...
Yeah. You're like, as soon as we are, I'd like to be paid.
So we were like, okay, we got up on Friday at this time and we finished the market at this time. We still got an hour left of work to do when we get home and unload. Okay. That's how many hours. And well, based on a $20 an hour paycheck, we need to have made X amount of dollars so that we can both go home with a paycheck. Well, we can pay one of us. And then we're short for the business. So, that's not going to work. So, no, we're not taking a paycheck yet. But I used to do the Mary Kay thing. And I don't even remember how I got sucked into that. Like, I don't remember the pitch. It wasn't on
purpose like me.
I don't remember the pitch. I don't remember the who introduced me to it. But I was like, oh my God, this will be great. And Carl was like, all right. But I felt bad because my friends did not have disposable income like myself. And it was like, well, I'll give it to you at the discount. And so I didn't ever make any money. I just bought it and discount, sold it to people. And that's just how that went.
About 1% of MLM earners actually make the bulk of what those companies make. Those people out there talking about how, great they have it or whatever. Typically, they're women who are in, like, suburban, high-income areas. They work in doctor's offices, places where a lot of women are, older women. You know what I mean? That's the successful market because they're around the women who will invest in that. And so it can be done. You know what I mean? It's like there is earning potential, but the way the model is, it's only earning potential for very specific subset of the workers. So, but yeah, I still have some of my Mary Kay stuff. It was great. Yeah.
I can't even imagine. So my mom sold Mary Kay when I was much, much younger. Back when everything was in a tube. Mm-hmm. The lipstick was in a literal tube. Like everything was in a tube. And they had these pink cases. They had the little circles to hold the tubes. Mm-hmm. And when she stopped selling, that case became mine, and it held all of my Barbie dolls and their clothes, and I had them all hanging in there. Look at my little Barbie dolls suitcase. But yeah.
Fancy schmancy.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I've been so many things. I was a security guard for a construction company doing construction.
Okay, now that.
I had to track all the trucks coming in and out of the place. I cleaned pools and did property management for a vacation rental company or whatever. It was like homes.
Okay.
In like the Kissimmee area or whatever. And every Thursday and Friday I would clean the pools. And I loved that job. When it was Thursday and Friday, I was ready. But between the 2 days, well, my least favorite thing was the filters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you unscript, they were fiberglass. I don't know if they still make them fiberglass, but fiberglass. And I'm hot and I'm sweating and I'm, but I'm just taking these things right off. I don't cover up. So I'd always come home itchy with the fiberglass stuff, like a moron. But I had, it was like I had the luxury of being able to like swim in there while I was, doing, and then of course I would add the muriatic acid and the chlorine afterwards. But, it was great. I enjoyed the heck out of it. I'm trying to think some of the other strange or odd jobs I've had. I've done retail. I've done waitressing.
This weekend I'm going to a sales summit for work, and before every summit they do icebreaker questions, and they get people to answer them before you get theirs. And then, like, typically they'll give you like a list or something, and go find the person who matches this, right? And like the first one that I went to, it was your walk-up song. Like, if you were to be announced, what would be your song, And so then we had a list of names or list of songs. We had to go find them and match them up, and that's how you ended up meeting people. So it was great. So they're asking, what's one of the most unusual jobs that you had? But keep it clean. And it's got to be appropriate according to the rules.
Yeah.
There are some jobs we don't want to know about, and I laughed.
Some things you keep to yourself.
I said, what is the most unusual job that I had? And I was like, it had to have been one of my early jobs when I was the birthday coordinator at McDonald's. Because it was the thing to do in the late 80s was to go to McDonald's for your birthday. And you'd have a little party. And that was me. I was the party girl. And so, Mom would schedule the party, and then I need this many cheeseburger Happy Meals and this many hamburger Happy Meals, and I need either a chocolate cake or a vanilla cake, and I'd decorate for it and get it all set up and entertain the children, and
I bet you were great at that.
It was so much fun. And all I can think is that at this thing this weekend is they're going to be like, who was the birthday party coordinator at McDonald's? And everybody's going to be, her. First, it's like, obviously. It's going to be obvious. I don't know.
We're like,
who, me?
It couldn't be me. Couldn't not be me.
That was never me. But
and you signed up for that. You were like, yes, that's the job I want. That's what I'm going after. I'm going to do birthdays at McDonald's.
I was 14.
Which is a pretty young job. Yeah,
it was 14, and it was, and that wasn't like, that was not what I went in and applied. I applied just to be and I had that personality, and they were like, hey, would you like, and I was like, yeah, get away from the counter. Yeah, go play with kids. Yes.
Like,
say less.
Twist my arm.
Say less.
Oh my gosh.
It was so
that
much
is
fun.
great.
And then I also love to work the early morning weekend first drive-through window. Back when they had just started doing that first window where you pay and then you get your stuff at the second window. Mm-hmm. And I loved that first window. Good morning. Thank you for coming to McDonald's. What can I get for you? Da, da, da. Like, I was just so happy and chipper at 5 o'clock in the morning. People would be like, I haven't even had my coffee yet. And I'd be like, well, come on up here and get your coffee. You have a great day. Like, I don't know. It was just, I was in my space back there or out there in the party. But you put me on the register, people staring at me. Is that my burger? No, if it was your burger, I would have gave it to you. Please stop yelling at me. Please stop yelling. It's not my fault.
There was an element of people watching at the lobby, though, for me. Like, 'cause I did work at McDonald's. McDonald's was one of my first jobs. And being at the register, it's like people would... The way... I don't know. I am often... Not that I'm not human and don't get frustrated with people.
Right.
But I'm often very entertained by, like, off-color behavior.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. You know, when somebody's, like, mad or they're, like, frustrated or, you know, like when they're, like, expressive. You know, like, when people are, like, passionately expressive.
Right.
Like, yeah, I chuckle. It's like a chuckle thing. Like meanness, that's when I get, like, confrontational.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm like, you know. I always said I wasn't confrontational, but I will confront you. I will confront you. And so, but yeah, that's... Sorry. I did. I always said, I really don't like conflict. I'll say that. I don't like conflict. I always said I was a non-confrontational person, but then I'm like, and this is like a recent realization. I'm saying, I'm like, damn, I'm confrontational.
Especially if there's an injustice.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I have a very, very strong side. Like, dude, and that was usually when I got in fights in middle school and high school, it was because somebody was making fun of somebody and I was not going to let that happen. I was going to put them in their place. You do not.
My inner man is 8 foot tall, 350 pounds, and not afraid of nothing. And sometimes I have to remember that my outer man does not match up.
I have a little more than you can chew.
I have squared up with some people that other people are like, what were you thinking? I'm like, I honestly don't know because I think I stopped thinking.
Yeah.
I
saw red and it came out.
It wasn't right. It was not good. And I was going to take them down. And they're like, but where are you? And I'm like, I don't know. We was about to find out though, weren't we?
Right. You didn't give me a chance. No, neither of us know what I'm made of.
Oh my goodness. We were at a bar. We had gone out, a bunch of us from work, and we're having fun. And then we stopped partying at that bar and went to another bar. And we're having a great time. And part of my group was a married couple. And he was over here with this part of our friends. And she was over here with a couple of the lady friends. And there were these guys, and they were just eyeing her, and they were being guys, right? You know, oh, baby. Yeah. And she's like, thank you, but not interested, okay? Like, she's a bit drunk, but she's already a bubbly person. Yeah. And so she's also got that, I'm a little drunk bubbly, but still trying to be very polite. And they were not letting up. And finally, she was like, no, thank you. And they were like, and sassed off about something. And I had a buzz. And let me tell you, that buzz went away instantly. And I stood up, and because I was like wandering behind her. Hey, you know, it was all like, hey. And as she's walking away, and they're still running their mouth, and I went, she said she's not interested, and you need to stop. And they went, what are you going to do? We'll get my friends. And I said, no. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to go get my friends and we're going to leave. And you're going to go get your friends and go back to the bar and sit down and have a drink. But you and your friends are not going to talk to me or my friends. And I don't know what I looked like because they went, okay. And then I walked off, and I was like, hey, bud, let's go dancing. And he's walking this way because he's gotten the idea that something's going on. Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey, come here. You got to dance with me. And I looped my arm into his arm, spun him around like a do-si-do, and then marched him right out the back door. And to this day, he goes, oh, my God, I remember that. He goes, I wanted to fight someone. I was looking for a fight. And I sensed that there was a fight to have. And he goes, and you were like, no, let's dance. And then next thing I know, we were leaving. And I was like, uh-huh.
He said, I went for a fight and I ended up in a do-si-do.
But I was like,
go square dancing.
And I remember seeing the look on the man, because he was running his gator, and then all of a sudden he was like, okay. And I'm like, I don't know if my inner man showed up and made himself visible. I have no idea, but they definitely backed down, and I was like, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
It's time to go.
Yeah.
All right.
What? Yeah.
We're not going to fight. Because we don't need that in our lives. But I squared right up. I think I grew 3 inches. And I was like, I'm in your eye. I got eye to eye, man. Don't mess.
But your hairs stood up a little bit to give you extra
Something.
size. You know?
Oh, and that's when I had the short hair anyway. So, yeah, it probably did.
The whole intimidation factor comes out. The pheromones. The nostrils. You know. All right, man. Yeah, you got it. You know. And then, like, when you do things like speak, like, logic, and there's, like, no, like, actual threat in there. Like, no, you're going to do this, we're going to do this, and we're all going to be fine, and we're going to be happy. And we're like, what are we going to do?
Right?
No, we're not going to be polite like you just said.
I want to
like, really? It's worth it to that for you? It's
Right.
worth that for you? Is
And
it really worth
and
it?
it was so dumb anyway, because
Yeah.
what are you doing? She told you she was married. and
Right,
she
yeah.
wasn't
Why would you be interested in
Like,
somebody that you have to beg to be interested in you
Right?
to begin with? Like,
is
that's
that?
boring. That's awful.
What is that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Men.
Yes. I
Men.
said, no, thank you. Yeah, some of them aren't trained well. Yeah. My goodness.
Well, this has been a good
Oh
evening.
my gosh, yeah. Thank you for coming over, even though we got a little bit of a late start tonight.
Thank you for being okay with me being late, and then I just had to be okay with you being late because I told you I was gonna be late. So
yeah, so that was that. Yeah.
whatever.
It was good time, and I was happy to see you in the driveway. I was like, all right, here we go.
Get started.
I'm getting to the point where I'm really looking forward to it every
Thursdays
single
is
week.
amazing,
I know,
right?
Yeah, it's a really good time of the week. Well, and it's sort of like this. It's a fellowship time, you know. But there's this. I have a pretty good system right now where Sundays Ashley and I have been hanging out mostly every other Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Her and I are hanging out. We go to like work out and stuff together, and then like an evening worship.
Oh, nice.
And then, or we're trying to get plugged into the evening worship. We went for the Christmas one, and she was like, well, I want to keep going. So I was like, all right. So, and then Mondays, I walk with a girlfriend, my accountability friend. Tuesdays, of course, is our Bible study. And then, of course, Wednesdays is a Bible study. And then Thursdays is our fellowship hour. And then Fridays and Saturdays, I'm going to be touring and, you know, doing my poetry thing. And so, like, I'm in a season right now that is, like, all cylinders are go. And earlier I talked about the training in Sabbath that the Lord had put me on 7-8 years ago. And it was that, and honestly, that what you talked about earlier, like, it was time to go to bed, like, it was that need for me to train myself to clock in and out. And now that it was impressed upon me. I was like, there was a lot of language about, like, hustle culture at the time. Hustle, 24 hours a day.
Right.
And I was just like, I'm going to die. I cannot do that. Like, I want to be an entrepreneur because traditional jobs weren't working for me. I burned out so easy. I'm like, how am I going to be in hustle culture? I'm going to burn out before I even get started. So the Lord impressed upon me to practice Sabbath. Like, it was put in front of me, and I was like, this is weird. Because I wasn't a Sabbath practicer, you know, it just wasn't something that was, like, in my, you know, purview of whatever. And not that I didn't, like, know about it or whatever. It was just, like, you know.
It's something that they did once upon a time. And
right, yeah.
But some people still do, but it's not me. Yeah.
Right. But I think the thing that really put me, like, sealed it for me to, like, truly practice it was just the fact that it was in the Ten Commandments. Like, it's a part of the foundational structure of how God wants us to be with Him, with each other, and with ourselves. And so it's like, it's at least that important, right? It's like He wanted that for His people. So, and then, of course, even Jesus in the New Testament, the Sabbath is created for man. Well, I think that's still true, you know? So, and I recognized that, like, the more that I practiced it, the more I realized, oh, no wonder I was always burnt out.
Yep.
And I can, there's still a little bit of, vulnerability for that sometimes, but it doesn't happen nearly as often. I can go a lot easier. So, but I'm in this season where I'd never in the last, real, like, 9-10 years, everything that I was, my health has been crap, and I've been, dealing with, a slow process of healing. Some things will never go away, and that's fine. But the fact that I've something every single night of the week and I'm, like, excited about it, that, my friend, is the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that. But all of that to say, I'm very happy about our Thursday nights together. I'm having a lot of fun.
Me too.
Thank you.
Me too.
Thank you for coming.
All right. Until next week.
Until next week.
Next week.
We might not know the forecast, but we'll update you on the weather.
Right?
Thank you for joining Maxina Sunshine and April Snow on the weekly weather. Like and follow to catch our next conversation.